I clearly have a problem. Look what I found. 20 bucks. Background story. Perusing Marketplace. I always have a look at what people are selling, throwing out, namely things like sewing machines. So this guy come up and I was like, well, I don't have a brother. And it's a pretty colour. It's not pink, but it's pretty. It's very pretty. Excuse me. It's actually really cool in the sewing room. So I haven't got my little heater set up because it was hot the other day. It was so hot. All right. So hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sew Magic and my magicians. My wonderful Sew Magic magicians. Welcome to 2026. Another year, another sewing machine, another project. If you can see in the background, I am making my mum a quilt. That's going to be the back side. That's going to be the front side. So that's what I've been doing. This year, I have reached a milestone. I have turned 40. Oh my God, I can't believe I am 40 years old. That is ridiculous. I still can't fathom in my brain. But what I can fathom is 20 bucks. Guys, what do you reckon? 20 bucks sewing machine? I wonder how it's going to be. Anyway, I've got big plans for this. Let's have a look. It is a Brother JS1400. I am unsure of what year this came from. I don't know what year model it was released. Oh, here it is. Oh, well, I'm assuming this is just a transport label. So it was transported in 2013. So this is the JS1400 made in Vietnam. Brother also is the major manufacturer of Baby Lock. Just a little FYI. Let's see. What's it say on the box? Brother Earth, working with you for better environment. Okay, cool. Open here with care. This carton contains accessory kit and owner's manual. Please keep this carton and packaging material for future use in the event that it becomes necessary to reship this sewing machine. Improper packing could result in damage during shipping. Never ship your sewing machine in a carrying case or console. Well, I don't think they'd be taking this back on warranty, so. It has an instructional DVD, LED lighting, top load bobbin, 4-step buttonhole, 14 built-in stitches. It is in a fetching green aqua colour. Portable free arm. Where is it? Built-in free arm for sewing cuffs and sleeves. LED lighting for bright and easy sewing. Top load bobbin for easy setting, easy maintenance, and clear view. How to... Instruction manual with bonus sewing project. Bonus that comes with the DVD. Babes, we don't use DVD players. Oh, I'm just going to have to use my old computer that actually has a disk drive. Built-in 14 stitches, 4-step automatic buttonhole. Zigzag stitch. Zigzag. Oh, okay. 3 different zigzag stitches that are long. 3 tighter zigzag stitches for satin. Straight stitch, center needle position. Straight stitch, center needle position. Why did they list that twice? I'm confused. Straight stitch, center position. Oh, okay. We're progressively getting longer in length. And they're all in center position. Then there's far left needle position, a blind hem stitch, an elastic stitch, and a stretch blind hem stitch. Accessories include buttonhole foot A, zipper foot I, zigzag foot J, which is on machine, bobbin 4 times, 1 is on the machine, needle set, 3-piece, screwdriver, foot controller, instructional DVD, quality, Japan quality, distributed by Brother. And it is a, let's see, it's a JS1400 2M01 149211113. Obviously this is an Australian machine, or Australian market machine. So anyway, I bought it off this lovely lady, $20. She had graciously already repacked it and everything. So let's check it out. We're going to do some fun things with this, because being a $20 machine, I don't want to say I don't care, but I want to see what it can do. This is like their, I guess, flagship, cheaper mending, beginner sewer machines. This is great for young people learning as a second hand, and like another mending machine, or just a quick grab and go. Yeah, it's just a lovely basic looking machine, pedestrian white. You'd think they would learn and make colours. Okay. I guess not everyone's like me and I like colourful machines, but at least they've put a accent colour. Alright. Oh. I wonder if this has ever been opened. She said she had 2 of them. I wonder if this is brand new. Okay. DVD and instruction book. So that's what it looks like here. And typical black and white instruction book. That's that. Blah, 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 blah. And we'll pop that back in its little bag, because we pros, babes. We are pros. We don't need instructions. Okay, I'm going to lay it on the face. Oh, isn't it pretty? Oh, she's a pretty little thing. Wow. Okay. Get rid of that box. Here you go. This is what you would get if you were in 2013 buying the JS1400. Wow, it's like it's never been used. Probably has, but it's like it hasn't. Put that in there for now. Huh. That oil? Ooh. Where can I? I've got oil. Okay. We have our foot pedal. So, have a look at that. It is a typical foot pedal. It's a twin cable. So it's one of these ones that has a 3-pin outlet that goes into the machine. One of the cables is for your foot pedal, and then the other one is for the power supply. So, here we go. So, here we go. Here's your foot pedal. Quite generic. They pretty well fit most machines anyway that have this style plug, but I would advise to make sure that you use the proper equipment for your brand of machine, because you can damage or break them. I'll throw that power cord over there. Pop this. Stay. So there is thread in it, so it must have been used at some stage. But she's packed it really well. Oh, it's really dinky and cute. It's not very heavy at all. It's very light. Here we go. Here we go. And this is the Brother JS1400. Product code is 888X53, 230 to 240 volts, 50 hertz, 50 watts. Made in Vietnam, double insulated, quality technology by Brother Industries Limited, Japan. Japanese, but made in Vietnam. There you go. Wow, this is such a cute little machine. Spool pin, yeah. There's your spool pin. Here we have your bobbin winder. So move it to the left when you want to wind your bobbin, and now it will disengage the needle bar and it will wind your bobbin. Now this isn't a mechanical machine, so there's no computers in this. For this experiment, because I was like, well, for 20 bucks and being an older machine, I could afford to delve in deep and have a look inside. I'm interested to see what the mechanics look inside these type machines, especially these little ones. A lot of these don't tend to have metal frames. A lot of them have a like a plastic mold structure, like a webbing inside made out of plastic that's incorporate to the case, and that is what gives it its rigidity. Sometimes that is plenty enough for what most beginner sewers use, or people that just need a quick mending machine with some light duty stuff, crafts. But when you're getting into things like denim, canvas, leatherette, faux leather, or several layers thick of certain things, they start to struggle. So they're not really intended for that. But we're going to have a play. We're going to have fun today. Let's have a look at the front. So we've got beautiful decal. It looks a lot. Oh, does that still have its protective cover? It looks like there's a protective. Oh my god, guys. Are you ready for ASMR? Who's into this weird ASMR thing where you peel? Oh, that is so satisfying. Oh yes, look at that. I'm sure people are just freaking out, going, oh my god, why would you do that? It's so in such good condition. Yeah, well, stickers like that look ugly. That looks even better. Much more shinier. It's light. It's not very heavy. But yeah. Let's have a look further. Okay, so we have front. I'm assuming this is like a cubby. So let's have a. Oh yeah, there looks like there's stuff in there. So there's an arrow and it says to point that way, which means it should slide off. Okay, cool. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reorient the camera so that you are behind me, and then we can both look at this machine together at the same time. Yeah? All right, ready, Just 1 minute. Okay, so I think I've set up the camera as best as I can so that we both can see at the same time, yes? Okay, cool. Alright, so here we have the machine, Brother JS1400. We have a reverse lever that engages a cam that allows the feed dogs to then turn in the opposite direction, so that instead of fabric feeding in this direction, it comes backwards for your reverse stitch. Here's our stitch selector. We have 14 main stitches. So you can see here, there is no stitch length dial, so we can't really change the length per se. It does have different lengths, but it doesn't tell you how long they are. Most machines will have a dial or a setting on their control panel that will say, you know, 1 to 6, which would be 1 millimeter length, 2 is 2 millimeter, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 millimeter. That's the stitch length. Well, this machine has predetermined lengths. So I'm assuming that would be 1 millimeter, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be 5 millimeters of length, which most standard sewing machines do have. And then over here looks like that is the same length as 9, which would be 4 millimeters long, and that is with the needle position on the left. So that'll be on the far left side. I assume this is a 5 millimeter wide machine. So we have your, what do you call it? Blind hem stitch, stretch zigzag, another sort of blind hem zigzag. Here's your buttonhole program. So how do we go to there? So we go all the way around to 1, to A, then B, C, D, and back to 1. Okay. True. Okay, and then we've got 2 zigzag, which looks like it's probably a width of maybe 2 mil and then 3 mil, or it's 3 mil, 4 mil, 5 mil wide of a zigzag. And then you've got your lengths here, which looks like it's like a 1 mil, 2 mil, 3 mil of a zigzag. But we'll test that out on a scrap piece. What do you reckon, guys? It's pretty cute. Does this pop off? Probably not without unscrewing it though. Yeah, I think that's unscrews. We've got our tension dial right here. Looks like she's had, it was set to 6. Jeez, that's a bit tight. Okay, yes, so that has been used. It's got a lot of fluff. Let's see, we'll go to the straight. Yeah, feels good. Everything looks like it's moving. Let's pop the presser foot up. Okay, this little cubby thing at the front here should slide that way. So, oh, here we go. This enables us to be able to use the free arm. And then here's a little Ziploc bag with some stuff. There's the screwdriver, 1, 2, 3 bobbins, a plastic zigzag foot, some needles, a buttonholer, a needle threader, everything to get started, I guess. And then we have, this is actually quite a chunky looking free arm. I wonder if that's as wide as my Singer. Let's have a look. Just grab, because it's handy. Yeah, I reckon they're probably similar size. Just grab pink Singer 4411. It's definitely heavier because this does have a metal frame. So let's compare sizes. So for the most part, so they're pretty well, footprint's very similar. Yeah, they're kind of about similar size. Oh, those definitely heavier. Where this is like heaps lighter. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to check out the free arm size. So slide that off. So if it really matters to anybody, but free arm size definitely looks a bit more on the chunkier side. So you wouldn't be able to do very small cuffs. I mean, this can't do very small cuffs either. So you're limited with how much the size of the cuff, or I guess neckline, or like when you need to use the free arm. But that's not too bad. It's the fact that it has a free arm is great, because some of these cheaper end machines don't come with a free arm ability, so that's good. I still have to make I'll put another little hook on the back for this cable. I added some LED lights for the throat space of this machine, so you just press this button and the extra lights in the throat space, maybe if you can see. So it illuminates your projects. Okay, I'm just going to pop this little one back. Ooh. Okay, so just like for like with weight, that machine is quite heavy. They do have an internal metal structure, metal frame, that they keep banging on about, which is good. You need that for rigidity. This, on the other hand, I could lift this so easy. It's very, very light. But yes, this will be interesting to see what it looks like on the inside. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put this back, but we're going to plug this in, and then we're going to do some test stitches, see what it does, see if it works properly, and we'll go from there. So I'll see you in a bit. Alright, so I've readjusted some settings, propped you up closer, so hopefully you guys can see. I've decided I'm going to use the stuff that it came with. I went hunting for some scraps so that, you know, we can have a look. I got some cotton, it's just like a off-white colour, so that we can see. So we're going to treat this like as if this is our first time using this machine. We're going to use one of their bobbins. I'm going to remove the remnants of this cotton, and we're going to wind our bobbin. Now, the LED light, it's great that it has one, but I'm a bit disappointed that it really only illuminates just where the foot is, which I suppose is the most important part. But you would think that yeah, you would think that it would have more adequate lighting. Maybe I'm so spoilt with my memory craft over here has a bed light as well as above foot light. All my singers I've put LED strip lights in the throat space so it illuminates the whole bed. So I'm pretty spoilt in that regard. So I know that a lot of these machines don't come like in that configuration. So okay, so just having a look, how do I take the foot off? It doesn't look like, it doesn't have a fast snap on snap off, so I assume it's a, oh yes, it's a drop down sort of foot. So looks like a typical 5mm presser foot, and it's just a snap on snap off. So on, if you want to remove it, push down, comes straight off. Yeah, that's all right. You know, better than nothing. I prefer a quick release, but there's an illustration of which way the bobbin needs to turn, so that's good. We've got markings on the top that show you your thread path for your bobbin. Okay, you can see that. So, I'm going to pop our bobbin in. Now we're going to take note of the direction. Like most of top loading machines, the bobbin turns in an anti-clockwise direction. So when we place the bobbin in, we place it with the tail hanging to the left, yeah? So like the letter P. So we hold the tail, we drop it in, okay? There's a little metal bit here, little groove. You got to make sure that when you are threading bobbins, this is a common problem with a lot of, especially beginner sewers. They don't know to make sure that this thread tail drops in that gap. To help, you can put your finger on your bobbin and pull the pull the thread tail towards you a little bit, so you've got a bit of a long tail, and then lay it across, okay, and then move it around like so. This ensures that it falls inside. There's a little leaf spring, and that's what governs the tension of your bobbin. If you don't do that and it doesn't fall in that little leaf spring, you won't have adequate tension and you'll have bird nesting and it won't stitch correctly. So we're just going to lay that thread tail to the back, and then we're going to get our cover and we're going to slide that back on. If I can get it in the right position. Do I have it in the right position? I think I do. Oh, okay, yep. So in. And then what we want to do is we want to thread the rest of the machine. So make sure we have, on Brothers, what I like is that on the hand wheel, there is actually a little line that is molded into the hand wheel, and it actually shows you a line that sits vertically with the casing. That's to indicate that the needle is in the highest position all the way up. So that's really good. I wish a lot of manufacturers would do that, but you know, sometimes they do. Okay, so we put our spool of cotton on the top there. Then we go across to this thread guide here. So we go through, behind, and then through the front. So we go this way, in between, and then we go through like that. Then we drop down the front to through number 2. Then we go around the thread tension dial, which is number 3, and back up to the top. Now this is important. Make sure you bring that thread tail all the way to the back. Okay? So all the way to the back, yeah? Then we move across to 4 and straight back down. What that does is it ensures that the thread tail is going to go inside the take-up lever. Okay, and then we come back down through 5, then through the thread guide on the needle bar. And now, because this machine does not have a automatic needle threader, we will have to manually thread it through. See if I can do it in one go. Doing this left-handed because just so you guys can see, sometimes it helps to lick the tip of the thread, and then I should have got it through. Oh, I've pressed the foot off. Okay, so now we've got the thread tail through the needle. We want to advance the hand wheel towards myself and rotate till you do a full cycle. So till it goes all the little mark on the hand wheel comes back to the top where there's the divided part of the casing. So if you want to see over here, here is the division in the casing. There's a little mark on the hand wheel that indicates where the topmost position is, and we should have captured the bobbin, which we have. And so we pull that through. Oh, this is going to get very tiring. I may upgrade this ankle to a standard machine ankle because this is very tiresome. Very easy to just, I'm guessing, it would be very easy to, oh God, what have I done? Okay, I've got myself into a tangle. Not very professional. Okay, so, that's very loose, so that's so easy to pop off. So, anyway, here we go. We've got thread tails out. Okay, now let's try some stitches. So we are in the number 6 straight. Actually, let's start from the beginning. We'll go minus the zigzag foot. We won't do zigzag right now. We'll do that later. We'll start with number 2, which is the smallest zigzag in width. Not sure what the length is. I assume it's a couple of mil, but let's try that out. So press the foot down, and let's see how we go. Okay, see if the reverse works. Yep, reverse works. Wow. First cheap machine that I've received that the reverse works. Okay, we're in the up position. So that's not bad. It's not a bad stitch. It's pretty good. Pretty good for this sort of machine, isn't it? So let's try next size. So as you can tell, I was going really fast. I pushed the pedal all the way to the floor. I wanted to see how fast it would feed. And it, for the most part, I never use a machine at its top speed. Not really. Only ever with my sewing and embroidery machine, I have it set to maximum speed when it's doing embroidery because, you know, faster's better in my eyes. But for normal sewing, there's no need to, you know, go a million miles an hour. I think a nice steady speed that you're comfortable with is actually more beneficial for control. All right, so we're going to try number 3, which is a little bit longer in length, but I'm not sure if it's the width is the same. So let's try that. And then crank the hand wheel again to all the way up top. Now, guys, make sure, especially for you beginner sewers, when you're sewing and you get to the end of your work, okay, side note, have a look at this. So that was our first stitch. This is the second one. That's actually a really nice stitch. That looks like it's about 2.5, maybe 3 mil wide zigzag with a length of 2 mil. This one looks like a 1 mil with a width of maybe 1.5. So that's just the different size comparisons between setting 2 and setting 3 on the zigzag, and then we'll do 4. When you want to remove your project from the throat space, ensure that your needle is in the highest position. So some machines might not have this marker to tell you when the timing has reached to the full cycle of the highest position. Some don't have that. Some machines do. This one does. But another way to tell is if you look inside here, we have the take-up lever. You can see that if I move the hand wheel, the take-up lever, you can see it moves up and down. You want to make sure that this is all the way up to the highest point. On this machine, you could just use the marker on the hand wheel, or keep an eye on your needle and make sure that the needle is at its highest, okay? So make sure it's at its highest, but I always make sure that the take-up lever is at its highest, or if there's a marking on the hand wheel, use that marking. That way, when you pull your project out, it will actually pull through easily. Half the time, people don't do this. They will finish their sewing and all of a sudden, the needle is still submerged, right? Clearly, you can't pull your project out, okay? Or it is just out of the fabric, but not all the way out. So that can cause a problem where it could lock the threads because it hasn't made its way around the bobbin. Now, when you make a stitch, as the machine goes through its cycle, so let's pretend, I'm going to show you guys what happens when the thread passes over the top of the bobbin. So, thread passing. In front of the bobbin, you should see a thread tail come past as I rotate, like so. So you can see that thread has gone past, and then it should come back out. So this is how a sewing machine works. Thread comes past, interlocks with the bobbin, and then it does it again and again, and it'll keep doing that. Now, if I was to be stitching something and I get to just halfway out, okay, and then I lift my presser foot lever, we can still pull at the thread, yeah, but it's starting to feel stiff. Now, if I pull this more, now I've got 2 threads. Now, that's really hard to pull. It's getting harder. And then a little bit harder again. And what can happen is that now there's a thread stuck there. And then I turn the hand wheel and another thread will come past. And now it's going to lock up all these threads and it's going to create these little bird nests. And that can cause a jam. So just make sure that when you go through your stitching and you want to remove your project, just to make sure that, before you pull your project out, make sure that the marker on the hand wheel, if it has one, is in the uppermost position at 12 o'clock, or that the take-up lever is also at the highest point in its cycle. See? So that's its highest point. That would mean that this needle will be at its highest, and also the thread going around the bobbin has cleared the bobbin and it has already done the locking cycle. So that's that. So let's go back to what we were doing before and try stitch number 4, which is an even longer and wider zigzag. So we'll try that. This is a very smooth moving machine. I really like it. Feels really nice. Okay, so that's that size zigzag. That's the back or the bottom. That's the top. Looks like, because I wasn't holding the thread tails, there was a bit of a tension thing happening there. I do have the tension still set to 6, so let's move this back to, I'd say, a 4. Let's go a 4 because most machines are happy in a 4. So let's try setting 5, which is the 3 zigzags that are closest, or what they call satin stitches. So let's try those. And then we'll go to the middle one. And then we'll go to the last one. Okay, and here we're back to the top. And then we'll see what the difference is. To be honest, they look the same. So it seems to me that it's supposed to be tightest, then not so tight. So it looks like it should be like a 1 millimeter widest zigzag, and then a 1.5 followed by maybe a 2. But to me, they kind of look the same. It kind of looked like it didn't change width, or actually it didn't change length at all. It may have, but yeah, it's very, very minuscule. It kind of looks almost the same. It's a bit closer up here, a little further apart down there, but there you go. Let's try the straight stitches now. So we'll go to number 6. And that is center needle position with the closest stitch. So okay, the top there. Lovely stitch. Does a pretty. I went a bit wonky there, but pretty good. Let's try another. So we'll go, let's go a 10. Let's see what a 10 looks like. Okay. And we have, it actually makes a really nice, almost top stitch. Okay, so here we go. Bottom, lovely. Top, I can see that the bottom thread is being pulled to the top, and the top thread almost looks like a straight line. Normally that means that top tension is too tight and that the bobbin is tighter than the top. So it looks perfect at the bottom, but it almost looks like the bobbin has been pulled up. So let's change the tension now to maybe a 3, and we'll see what that looks like, and then see on the same stitch whether that makes a difference. So let's try that. Okay, on the top. Okay. Oh, night and day. So now they look equal. So the locking stitch between each of these look the same, where the first one, it looked like the bobbin has been pulled up all the way to the top, and that the top thread is actually really tight. So now that's actually a better stitch. I am stitching a single piece, so you know, you need to adjust your tension accordingly to what you're sewing. So obviously with 2 pieces of fabric, you might need to set your tension to a 4, but for this purpose, we just try a 3, and 3 looks much better. So this machine enjoys a 3. So there we go. So that's just straight stitch on the far left position. Let's try the overcast, or what you call a blind hem stitch. So we'll try that one. I'll tell you what though, this machine is smooth. For a cheap machine, which I do believe retails only for less than $200, I think you really can't go wrong with something like this. This is just a perfect beginner sewing machine, perfect for someone who is new to sewing, or they just want an extra machine for travel. If you're camping and you want to bring a lightweight machine with you to do some light crafts, or you know, light quilting, you could probably use this. I wouldn't use it to do some heavy duty quilting, because I think this would just not have the piercing power to go through all the layers. But this, for the most part, as a generalized sewing machine, amazing. Like, it runs smooth, it sounds lovely, it doesn't feel knocky or rattly. The stitches look beautiful. Let's try the stretch zigzag next. Yeah. So that's that one. That looks lovely too. Both sides. Let's cut all these tails off, because these can cause issues if they get snagged. And then we can try number 14, which is the last main stitch in this machine. And then we'll go on to having a look inside. Okay, so this is what I call, it's like the heart monitor zigzag. So we've got 2 smaller zigzags followed by a larger one. So this is good for stretch stitches as well. A blind hem stretch stitch. It's a pretty good machine for what it is. I'm really happy with it. For the most part, yeah, lovely. What a great machine. Reverse works. Most of all the stitches seem to work. Doesn't look like I need to adjust stitch balancing. So stitch balancing is when you're doing buttonholes and it looks like the stitches aren't aligning properly. There is a little dial that you can use a screwdriver, and you turn that dial to the minus or the plus, and that will change the balancing for your buttonholing and generally for other machines, your embroidery-ish stitches. But there you go, guys. So that's the Brother JS1400. And here's the little test swatch of all the stitches that this machine can do, for the most part, minus the buttonholes. Yeah, I think it's pretty good for the model that it is, and I'm pretty sure they're only less than $200 Australian, so that's pretty affordable. It's a great beginner machine, or a spare machine, or a mending machine, if you will. Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. Looks really nice. But let's do the fun thing, and we will do a teardown, and we'll have a look on what's on the inside. Clearly, do not do this if you were, if this was a brand new machine. You may void your warranty by opening it. So this is an old machine, and I only paid $20 for it, so I'm happy to pull it apart, because I would like to show you guys what's inside one of these at least. But, for the most part, this will give us a good indication of what's happening on the inside. So that's it for now for this video. I'm going to stop and reset, and then I'll film the next part, which will be the teardown and the deep dive look inside the Brother JS1400.